Ladies and gentlemen, something happened that nobody, not even Remy Ma herself, was prepared for. When 50 Cent speaks, it's usually a joke, a jab, or a meme. But this time he revealed the truth, or at least something that appears to be it, or a bombshell revelation of a prison secret that was allegedly sealed, buried, and forgotten until now. According to 50, Remy Ma's time in prison wasn't just about serving her sentence, it was about what happened inside the power, the silence, and the one decision that changed everything. What is she hiding? And why has never come out before? Why is 50 Cent? This isn't bigger than that? What you're about to hear could make you doubt everything you thought you knew about Remy Ma. And if it's true, she might never move on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any more time because when we say bombshell, we're not talking tabloid fluff. Rather, we're talking about something so raw, dirty, and deeply buried that it took a man like 50 Cent Petty King, an internet troll and unintentional truth teller, to blow it sky high. Now, before we reveal the secret, let's go back, because to comprehend what was just made public, you must know exactly who we're talking about. Remy Ma is a rapper from the Bronx who was battle-tested and was once an inmate at the Bedford Hills Correctional Facility for Women. No, this wasn't a case of a celebrity being caught in possession of marijuana. Rather, it was assault with a weapon, specifically a gun, and a fine. Remy is serving 6 years in prison. Let's get that straight. Remy didn't simply go to jail, she lived there allegedly. And now, just when we all thought her time there was over, 50 Cent says, nope, there's more. Not just, oh, she got into fights kind of more. We're talking backdoor alliances, prison politics, power plays, and allegedly something that 50 says could have destroyed her career before it even came back. So, what exactly is he talking about? Let's start with the setup. In 2007, Remy Ma was at the top of her game, part of Terror Squad dropping fire verses, becoming one of the few female rappers holding her own in a male-dominated industry. Suddenly, she is arrested for shooting her close friend Mika Barnes-Joseph due to a financial dispute. The specifics are unclear, but the headlines were wild. Shoots friend over missing money, hip-hop star turns violent in Manhattan nightclub. Showdown trial conviction, 8-year sentence. She ends up serving 6 full years, but this is where the story gets spicy because, according to 50 Cent's alleged sources, Remy Ma didn't just serve her time quietly, she moved like a boss, and I mean, like a straight-up mob capo behind bars. Forget toilet paper currency and ramen noodle politics. 50 Cent made a joke. But it wasn't a joke, referenced on an Instagram Live that claimed Remy ran a network inside the prison, not just for contraband control, access, favors, and fear, but also, according to Bombshell 50, Remy wasn't alone during her time in prison. She was part of a circle of 4 prominent, well-respected, and connected female inmates who formed what 50 called the High Table. It sounds like a John Wick movie because, according to 50's sources, each woman essentially controlled a particular area of the prison's underworld. Remy allegedly, and I quote, "They weren't just passing time, they were running it like a mini-industry. If Remy talked, everything stopped. No one knows, or more accurately, no one is willing to say." But one former inmate who allegedly reached out to 50 anonymously claimed Remy wasn't locked up, the prison was locked in with her. Meanwhile, Remy Ma's team was busy spinning her image like a redemption arc from a Tyler story. These are claims, but the story gets juicier because one inmate in that alleged alliance allegedly disappeared from the prison system entirely, transferred records redacted and gone, and people started whispering, did Remy Ma have something to do with that? The internet went crazy after 50 Cent posted a mysterious message saying, "You're rooting for her? Cool, but wait until you hear what really happened in Cellblock C." People needed to know what happened in Cellblock C, what 50 was hinting at, and why. Now, this is the big question because, let's face it, 50 doesn't just expose for fun. Okay, fine, he does. But normally, there's a reason. Motive, a trigger. Some claim that he is upset about something Remy said in a previous interview, while others believe that this is a calculated diversion. He has secrets, and Remy's past is just convenient material. However, there is a more sinister theory that 50 obtained a confidential internal prison report that purports to confirm an altercation, a cover-up, and a silenced investigation from 2011 during Remy's sentence. The theory goes like this. An incident occurred, a guard was hurt, someone was transferred, reports were sealed, and Remy's name was all over it. Whether this is true or not is up for debate, but 50 Cent is not denying it. Rather, we've all heard the rumors, the altercation, the lockdown, and the silence, but what's the real story? According to the 1950s unnamed insider Cellblock C was the scene of a late-night brawl involving high-profile inmates. Weapons were used, one woman allegedly ended up in medical care, another was transferred without a trace, the guards claimed. It was an accident. The paperwork mysteriously disappeared, and Remy returned to her cell as if nothing had happened. When you think 50 Cent has said it all, he opens the next tab and drops a new quote. And suddenly we're deeper than anyone expected. The moment Cellblock C entered the conversation, everything changed, and internet detectives went to work like they were solving a cold case. To anyone who crossed her is the secret she never wanted public. And according to 50, this is the thing she's kept quiet about for over 10 years. They mapped out who was in Bedford Hills in 2011 and created entire Reddit threads called Operation Remy. Then, as is always the case when drama hits the internet with real fire, the leaks happen because, believe it or not, within 72 hours of 50's mysterious post, alleged documents, screenshots, and even a purported audio clip began to circulate in specialized forums. One audio file in particular, which was obviously unverified, purported to be a recorded call from inside the prison during the exact week this Cellblock C incident allegedly occurred. In the clip, a female voice clearly agitated can be heard, saying, "I hear not to go that far." Now it's going to come back on all of us. Was it real or fake? No one could say for sure, but no one stopped listening. The idea of it was enough. Then came the testimony. An anonymous article about the scandal appeared under a TikTok that went viral. It had no profile pic or history, but the wording was chilling. I remember the night at Bedford when everything went quiet, and we all knew not to ask questions. Remy had that kind of pull. She didn't yell or threaten, she just looked at you, and you knew that comment alone was shared over 18,000 times in 2 days. Naturally, the media became involved. Bloggers began revealing exclusive sources, and podcasters debated whether this would ruin her career. Twitter was just chaos, with hashtags like Remy Exposed, Num50's Build, and on L-Blocky. You would think that someone had been arrested again, but the real kicker was that there was no response from Remy or her team. And there was silence in the middle of a firestorm like this. This isn't just fuel, though, because in today's world, when a celebrity scandal occurs, you either deny cry or post an apology on the Notes app, but saying nothing is essentially a confession to the internet. And when someone asked 50 Cent on Instagram Live, "Are you for real about that Remy Ma stuff?" he smiled, paused, and said, "All I'm saying is sometimes people leave jail, but jail doesn't leave them." He then cut off the stream. But what does that even mean? It didn't matter because now people were demanding justice. Not for Remy, but for the alleged missing inmate, the ghost transfer, and the missing file. Some users even tried filing FOIA requests. Yes, actual freedom of information. Requests in an attempt to obtain the Bedford incident logs from 2011. Spoiler alert. This is downright cinematic. A YouTube channel with less than 10,000 subscribers goes viral overnight after sharing what it claims are private prison inmate rosters. And guess what? Without any explanation or transfer location. The woman's name is redacted, but the internet has already decided that this is the missing inmate, Remy's secret, which is why 50 is talking now. Then, suddenly, a former correctional officer is accused of posts an ambiguous TikTok with the caption, "I worked at Bedford during that era. Some things weren't handled by protocol. I'll leave it at that." The account was deleted 24 hours later, and it received millions of views. Are we witnessing a real expose, or is it just an echo chamber and internet theater that is so loud that it has convinced itself of its own truth? The scary part is that, whether it's true or not, public opinion has already decided that something significant happened in that prison, and Remy Ma was at the center of it. Her silence now appears less graceful and more like damage control. But we're not done yet because is busy chasing documents and lost files, and the fallout is starting in real life. A major daytime talk show just canceled Remy's upcoming appearance, and her team has allegedly gone silent. There has been no press, no updates, and no bookings. A music festival also quietly removed her name from a promo lineup without providing an explanation. This may have been a coincidence, but wait, what else don't we know? As this prison, drama rages online. Another layer has emerged. A person posing as a paralegal assistant posted a thread claiming they reviewed sealed internal court documents while interning at a criminal appeals law office. The thread alleges that a classified motion filed under Remy Ma's case in 2013 for a possible internal safety breach was enough to set off the conspiracy machine. Some people think the motion had to do with the Cellblock C incident, while others think it had to do with a side investigation involving staff corruption. At this point, 50 is still posting memes and stoking the flames, and it seems like he's playing chess with a blowtorch. Every new theory equals another smug post from 50. This is where things get really crazy, because while the internet is focused on the past, there might be a very real consequence coming in the present. According to a tweet from an insider journalist who has confirmed this, a formal inquiry into Bedford's archived incident reports may be underway. This isn't internet clout chasing, it's actual government heat. What does this mean for Remy Ma? The question that is reverberating throughout the internet right now is whether Remy Ma is the puppet master or just another player in a rigged system. While fans, haters, and conspiracy theorists continue to repost and go down rabbit holes on Reddit, something very real may be brewing behind the scenes, because when you poke at sealed files, anonymous sources, and correctional cover-ups long enough, you can see that this story is bigger than celebrity gossip. Will her freedom be in danger? The reason state officials are looking into the Bedford Hills 2011 disciplinary archives is because, quote, the public interest surrounding discrepancies in the inmate movement logs has prompted internal review. In other words, since the story went viral, they can't afford to appear as though they're not paying attention, and this is where it gets colder than a solitary cell block in. According to industry insiders, her team is currently in full crisis mode with no press, no appearances, just silence and strategy. One source close to our camp allegedly stated, "We were planning a major rollout. Now we're just trying to control the bleeding." This isn't just damage control anymore, it's reputation damage, because if these allegations are even partially true, we're talking about career derailment. Brand deals gone, tour dates canceled, and public trust shattered. And let's not pretend the industry doesn't turn its back when things get messy. Hip-hop is built on loyalty, and a single scandal is what happens. Makes you bad for business already. In a now-deleted Instagram story, 50 Cent posted a picture of a courtroom with the caption, "Sometimes the past doesn't stay in the past." One sentence, thousands of reposts, and no explanation, but the message was clear. And here's the part no one expected. Remy Ma may actually be contacted as before anyone panics. No, that doesn't mean charges are coming tomorrow. However, if a state agency determines that something shady happened and was covered up, they believe there was misconduct that's bad for the prison, for the officers, and for anyone who signed papers to help it disappear. In the course of the internal investigation, why was it that a request for interview records related to a certain disciplinary event dated February 2011 that Remy Ma was allegedly listed as a witness to may have helped or, worse, directed it, and all of a sudden the story changes? Perhaps Remy wasn't just surviving inside, perhaps she was helping to plan something bigger. For weeks, the public was speculating about this, rewatching clips of her interviews from after prison and analyzing her language. A host asked her, "Was there anything in prison that changed how you view power?" She smiled, looked down, and said, "When you learn how to move in silence, you never go back." At the time, people assumed she meant personal growth. And the memes, brutal screenshots, and side-by-side edits of TikTok's dissecting prison layouts like it's a true crime series. However, just as the controversy was getting out of control, a leak surfaced on the internet, this time of a purportedly 2013 memo that read, "Due to the sensitivity of the February 18th incident, involved parties will be removed from the general population log and reassigned as per Directive 9B34. Directive 9B34 is a real policy used for protective custody reassignment, and the twist of the memo doesn't mention Remy Ma, but the date and description match, and people now think that's the last piece of the puzzle. If she was involved in a violent altercation that necessitated the removal of the inmate and her reassignment, and if she was spared because of influence, Or if her name was removed from the paper trail, that's institutional manipulation, not just celebrity privilege. 50 Cent didn't say, "I told you," so he posted a black screen with the words, "Truth always finds a mic." That went viral in less than 10 minutes, and the repercussions are seen offline as well. Two retired co-workers have reportedly been approached for statements regarding their time at Bedford. A watchdog group is calling for transparency from the New York Department of Corrections. And most ironically, an independent filmmaker has announced a loosely inspired prison drama based on the Remy era. What will happen next? Will Remy Ma speak? Will her team release a statement? Will she deny everything? Or will she just wait it out? The internet is divided. Some believe that she should speak now to reclaim the narrative and shut it all down, while others think that silence is her only defense. However, one thing is certain. The legend of Cellblock C is no longer a rumor. It's a movement, a cultural moment, a twisted, wild, unconfirmed, but unstoppable. Whatever happens next, this story isn't over. It's just warming up. And if history teaches us anything, when 50 Cent starts talking, someone is about to fall. Stay tuned because we're watching everything. Now that the microphone has actually happened, is it just 50 Cent being messy for clout? Or did he unintentionally, or perhaps purposefully, discover one of the biggest hidden stories in hip-hop history? Did Remy Ma outsmart the system, or was she involved all along? Now, it's your turn to share your theories in the comments section, but don't hold back. We want the wild ones. I'm not referring to aliens, but level ones who worked at Bedford once You'll be the first to know when the next secret is revealed if you hit the like button, hit subscribe, and trust us, if 50 isn't done talking, we're surely not done digging. Done digging.